I see the same mistakes made over and over by people who are relocating to Arizona, and all of them are avoidable if you take the right steps. Today, I'm going to talk about these specific mistakes that I see every single day, why they matter, and what smart people do when relocating instead. And if you're thinking about moving to the Phoenix area, download my free relocation guide in the description below to find out what you need to know about the Phoenix area and to help you narrow down some of our best cities and neighborhoods. Everyone who moves to the Phoenix area starts off by wanting to live in Scottsdale, and I don't blame them. The world-class golf, incredible restaurants, and just the prestige and serenity that comes with living there. And I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't aim to live in Scottsdale. It's the top-ranked place to live in our city for a reason. But Phoenix is huge and has many more great cities and towns than just Scottsdale that you should at least consider. If you decide that Scottsdale's the place for you after all, then great, but at least you looked and are making an informed decision. I see it all the time. A family flies in and spends the weekend with me looking at homes and neighborhoods in Scottsdale. Then they go to dinner with their cousin who lives in Chandler, and they fall in love with that area and completely reconsider their search parameters. Because if you want to live in the Scottsdale area, your dollar will not go as far as it will in other places like Chandler, Gilbert, Peoria, or even North Phoenix. And people don't realize that at first. Each different city and town in Phoenix is going to offer different lifestyles, and even different sections within one city can cater to drastically different people. Take Scottsdale, for example. It's almost like 3 different cities all within the Scottsdale city limits. Old Town Scottsdale is going to be all about nightlife, walkability, and social life. Central Scottsdale is home to neighborhoods like McCormick and Gainey Ranch, with mature landscaping and great schools. Then you have North Scottsdale, immersed in the desert with custom homes sprawled about and country club golf courses around every corner. And all of these offer different things than you'll find in more family-oriented towns like Gilbert or Peoria. So to keep it simple, just make sure you do your research into various areas within the valley, not just Scottsdale. Another thing that everyone seems to be looking for when they make the move to Phoenix is a big backyard. And I don't blame them. I love spread out homes too. But unless you have a pretty big budget, you will probably be looking further on the outskirts of town, especially if you're wanting an acre or larger. And that's going to be fine for some people. But for others, it's going to get real old real fast, driving 25 minutes to the nearest grocery stores and restaurants, yet alone getting to downtown or Scottsdale. And that's the sacrifice a lot of people have to make if they want a large lot at a more affordable price. Are you okay being in Santan Valley, a bit isolated from the rest of the city? Then great, you can get a home on an acre for under $600,000. But if you want to be closer to the daily conveniences, you may need to settle for more like a quarter or a half acre in a more established central area. So I would really suggest that you do some soul searching before committing to a home in the middle of nowhere, just because it is on a larger lot. Now, if you have a higher budget, then there are going to be options with very large lots in extremely convenient locations. It's just going to cost you more money. These next few extremely common mistakes are when people eliminate certain neighborhoods because of a criteria that they think they need, but they actually may not. The biggest culprit of this is the buyer that is looking for only gated neighborhoods. I get it. The gates make you feel more secure and exclusive. And if it's a guard-gated entrance, I kind of see your point. But for the most part, a gate is just a gate, and it's there to make the community seem more secure, but it actually doesn't do much. The safety of a neighborhood is more about the people in it. If you live in a neighborhood like Agritopia in Gilbert that is extremely connected, neighborly, and where residents have a true pride of ownership in the community, that's where you will feel truly safe. Neighbors will say hello to each other and just keep an eye out for one another. This kind of neighborhood is going to be much more safe and secure feeling than just a keypad at the front entry. So my suggestion would be not to eliminate neighborhoods that aren't gated, but treat a gated neighborhood as a plus on top of all of your other must-have criteria. The same thing goes for mountain views. I know, everyone wants to be right against the mountains in Phoenix and see them from your backyard. But there are only so many areas with good views like this, and they often come at a high premium. So you'll be getting a lot less value in the home itself just to have the view out the backyard. Now, if you're the type of person that just loves mountain views and it's extremely important to you, by all means, we can only look at those options. But for most people, I would again suggest treating this as a bonus on top of your other must-have criteria, similar to the gated entrance. This will give you a lot more options to choose from. People often do the same thing for neighborhood amenities. You come into your search thinking you want a community pool and a fitness center and some pickleball courts. So this eliminates more than half of the neighborhoods and home options for you to look at. But then you move into your new home and a year goes by and you realize you haven't gone to the amenities in more than 3 months, yet you've been paying higher HOA fees just to have them there. So I would suggest asking yourself how important the amenities really are to you. If you're wanting to be in a community that has a built-in social aspect like neighborhood groups, classes and clubs, then I would absolutely suggest limiting your criteria to those options. But if you're thinking that it just might be kind of fun to have a community pool, you may end up never using it, and you've eliminated some great neighborhoods in the process just because they didn't have one. Another one of these types of mistakes is new homes. Everyone loves a shiny, newly built home, and I'm with you. It's great to not have to stress about the roof or the air conditioning and to pick all of your finishes in the home. But there are some buyers that are so stuck on only wanting a new home, they won't even consider options that have been built in the last 10 years or so. And if that's you, that's okay. I don't blame you. But I would encourage you to at least look at a few homes that are recently built but not brand new, just to see what you can get for comparison's sake. There is some value in a resale home that has a more established neighborhood and the landscaping has been completed. On the flip side though, there are some people that will not consider a brand new home because they've had a bad experience. And I'd suggest at least looking at what the new homes offer, because the builders right now are offering incredible incentives, including lower interest rates, closing costs covered, and discounted prices. So whichever side of the coin you're on, you should at least consider both new and resale options so you can cover all of your bases before making a decision. This next mistake gets people all the time. Buyers love scrolling Zillow, especially if you're from out of state. You type in Phoenix and you find 10 houses that you want to see that are scattered across the city. Some of them are in areas catered to retirees, others are in walkable suburbs, and some are straight up in the middle of nowhere. I get it though. Looking at homes online is the fun part of the home search. You get to look at it and imagine what life would be like there. But the most important thing about where you move to won't be found on the listing. It's the location and lifestyle that comes with the home. If you're a young family but you move to an area full of retirees, it's not going to be what you're dreaming of. And on the other side, if you're a retiree, you probably don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of people rushing their kids to school and rushing off to work without a second to spare to stop and just say hello. The home you choose is very important. You want to be happy there and most importantly to have the space that you need. But the lifestyle of the area you move to will be even more important. You can change the flooring, paint color, the countertops, or just fully remodel a home. But you can't move a home in a loud and busy area to a quiet suburb. What I suggest to all of my buyers is to narrow down what kind of life you're looking for and then get a list together of cities and towns and specific neighborhoods that match your lifestyle. And then we can focus on finding the perfect home within those areas. And this is something I'm really good at helping my clients with. I was born and raised right here in the Phoenix Valley, and I know all of the different areas and even some of the smaller, more low-key neighborhoods. I don't just help you find the right home, I help you find a good lifestyle match. Here's another one for you. People move here all the time after they visit once in the winter or spring and never truly experience our summer heat. Yes, it's a dry heat, but it's still brutal for a few months. We can have stretches where it's over 105 degrees for weeks on end in a bad summer. So I would definitely suggest visiting during the summer to feel what it's like, because our lifestyle does shift here. You don't spend all summer indoors, but you do move your schedule. Outdoor activities like pickleball or hiking are done in the early morning hours until about 8 or 9 in the morning. Family gatherings turn into pool parties, and golf becomes half price because it's so hot out. You can play some of the best courses in the state for less than $50 in the middle of summer. If you come from a different climate that's already pretty warm, you're probably okay to not visit in the summer. But if you're from one of those colder northern climates, I'd definitely book a flight for the middle of July and see what it's like, because the last thing that you want to do is move here and find out that you can't live with the heat. And there are a few areas in the valley that are slightly elevated and further from all the asphalt and pavement of the city, so they actually stay about 5 to 10 degrees cooler. These are locations that might be worth targeting if you want a slightly more mild climate, although it will still be hot basically everywhere in the Phoenix Valley in the summer. If you take some time and do just a bit of research and slow down before relocating to Phoenix, you'll thank yourself later when you are in the perfect city and neighborhood for your lifestyle, all inside of your dream home. If you want help with this, or just to make sure you aren't missing any options that you should be looking at, download my free Phoenix relocation guide in the description below. It's going to cover all of the different cities, the things you need to know about Phoenix, and home prices and best neighborhoods. And if you want personal help on your home search and area suggestions from someone who's born and raised here in the Valley, and someone who helps people relocate here every day, just reach out to me directly and I'll get you taken care of. Thanks for joining me today, and check out this recent video I made on some of Phoenix's most underrated neighborhoods that no one seems to mention, but that you don't want to miss.